Yeah, hi, this is Milind. Today we will going to see what is the ASP.NET in .NET, what is web application, what other technologies can be used to build a web application, what are the advantages of the web application, and how ASP.NET web application works. Right? In demo we will see how we can install the Visual Studio 2022 in our system and how we can practice it. Okay, so what is the ASP.NET? Right, ASP stands for Active Server Pages. .NET. .NET is a Microsoft technology. Right, it's like with help of the .NET we can create websites, we can create Windows application, we can create mobile application, and so on. Right, so it's an technology, basically it's an software development technology, Microsoft technology. Right, so what is the ASP.NET? ASP.NET is a web application framework developed by Microsoft. As I said, this framework, or this you can say Visual Studio framework, is developed by Microsoft to build dynamic web pages. So as I said, this is ASP.NET. Specifically we are dealing with the websites, we are creating the website. Right, in website we have multiple web pages. To create dynamic web pages, dynamic stands for we can create any kind of web pages here. Right, we can create dynamic web pages means dynamically we can add the data on that web pages. Right, so ASP.NET is a web application framework developed by Microsoft to build dynamic web pages, web applications. It allows developer to create robust, scalable, and secure web application. Robust means strong. Right, strong. Scalability means once we can create that software, right, it's very easy to deploy it, it's very easy to maintain that software, it's very easy to add if required any addition, so we can add the other things as well. So scalable, it's an good to scale. Right, and security purpose also we can secure the web applications using various programming languages, right, like C Sharp, Visual Basic, F hash, and so on. We can create the web pages using any of these languages. C Sharp is a programming language, Visual Basic is also a programming language, like F Sharp and others as well. So we can create, we can use any of this programming language to create a website, or you can say to create a web application. Okay, so ASP.NET provides a wide range of tool, libraries, and functionalities that streamline web development. Right, so in short, ASP.NET or ASP.NET is a web application framework. So with help of the ASP.NET we can create multiple web pages to create a strong website. Right, we can create, we can deploy, and we can maintain that website with help of the ASP.NET. Right, so as I said, ASP stands for Active Server Pages, and .NET is a technology. Right, it's a technology which is developed by Microsoft. Fine, then what is the web application? What is the application? Like web application, we have Windows application, we have web application, we have browsers. Right, so web application is a software application that runs on the web server. For example, if we open any browser, okay, and if we just put https:/google.com, and if we enter it, right, so we will see a page in front of us. So where that page came from? Right, so that page is come from the server, web server, and our system is a client. Basically it's work as a client server architecture. It's work on the basis of client server architecture. Right, so web application is a software application that runs on the web server, and it's accessible via a web browser or a network. Right, or a network in the, it's simply, right, for example, if I'll open any website on a any browser, so that acts as a, you can say, client server architecture. Right, so it's designed to provide functionality, interactivity, and services to user through a web interaction. Right, so we have multiple web browser. Right, we have multiple web browser. For example, we have Chrome, we have Firefox, we have Safari, we have Internet Explorer, right? So we can use any of them, right? It's not uh, compulsory, can we can only use a particular browser, right? It's up to us, it's up to the software which browser we can use in a web application. Okay, so user can access web application through web browsers like Chromium, right, Firefox, Safari, etc., eliminating the needs of the installation of individual devices, right? So web application is nothing but a simple uh, web pages that stores on the web server, right? As I said, if I'll put simple Google, then that Google page is occurred for us, right? So where that page come from? That page come from the server side. Okay, again, as I said, web application follow client server architecture. In coming slides I will show you how this client server architecture works. So web application typically follow a client server architecture. So as I said, client server, for example, if I'll put the google.com, so my system is my client. The same way, if anybody else also put google.com, so there is a separate client, but server is common for that, right? So once we hit that, so that request go to the server, and server gives the response on the behalf of that client request. Okay, so web application typically follow a client server architecture where the client browser, any browser, interacts with the server that hosts the application logic, data, and the functionality. On the server there are lot of things is available on that server, like logic, data. There are a lot of data is available, right? So we request that data, and on the behalf of that request we'll get the response. Obviously we will get the data, we will get the web pages, we will get the other things as well. Okay, distributed access means web applications enable multiple users to access the same application simultaneously from the different location. As I said, if I'll put google.com, same way other users also put the google.com on their system, their laptops, or their you can say mobile application, right? So it's a distributed access. Anyone can access the same response from the server, right? So distributed access, web applications enable multiple users to access the same application simultaneously from different location, making them ideal for collaboration and remote access. Fine, so server is single, and we can so many users can access the same data from that server, right? From the systems, from their laptops, from their web, any other tab, from their mobile applications as well. So they can get the data, they can get the server data, they can request the data from the various you can say sources. So that's what you can say distributed access. Cross platform compatibility, they can run on various devices and operating systems. Any you can say data, right, or any server data, we can access that data through various devices and various operating system, as long as they have a compiled web browser providing permitting accessible and usability, right? As I said, I can use any browser, right? If I'll put google.com, I can put that google.com through any browser, like browser you can say chromium browser, you can say safari, or you can say edge browser, but we will get the that page, that output as a page. Okay, so we will consider these points like web application work on the web browsers. Without web browser we cannot get the response, or we cannot raise the request, right? So accessible via the web browser, it acts on a basis of client server architecture, distributed access, cross platform compatibility. So obviously web application encompass a wide range of functionalities from simple website and basis interaction to a complex system like second network. So with help of the ASP.NET we can create a websites for e-commerce platform, you can say CM system, or we can create the banking application softwares as well, right? So and we can integrate the various technologies as well, integrate, or we can create the HTML web pages, right? cascading style sheet, JavaScript, and server-side scripting languages as well, such as PHP, Python, Ruby, Java, or ASP.NET, or others as well. Okay, are commonly used in building these applications. So it's a very huge application. We have a lot of things to learn here, right? We have uh, HTML, hypertext markup language, CSS, cascading style sheet. This is basically to design a web page, right? JavaScript for the scripting purpose, right? And we have uh, other languages as well: PHP, Python, Ruby, Java, or ASP.NET, like that wise. So what the second topic, like what other technology can be used to build web applications, right? Like ASP.NET, from we have other languages as well, other technologies as well. Through that as well, we can create web applications. ASP.NET, or you can say .NET, is not only a single framework, or it's not a single technology where we can create the web applications, right? So we have there are a lot of there are a lot of other technologies, there are a lot of other frameworks, or there are lot of other programming languages as well. From there also we can create the web applications. For example, JavaScript framework, React.js, Angular, Vue.js, right? JavaScript as a front end framework, as I said, HTML, CSS, and front end tools, right? So through this technology as well, we can create the web applications. Fine. Then what are the advantages of web application? What is the main benefits? Because we have Windows applications as well, right? Windows application is a what kind of Windows applications? Basically exe files, right? If we want to use any Windows based application, what we need to do? We need to go in the system and we need to double click on that specific software. That means we need to first install that software, that is the Windows applications. Here we are talking about the web applications. So what are the advantages of the web application, right? The first advantages is accessibility. User can access web application from anywhere with internet connectivity. For an example, if I have a HDFC account, or I have any other SBI account, right? It's an web based application which we are accessing. So for that, should we install something on my system? Should we install something on my mobile? No. If I want to access that application through my web, then I need not require to install anything on my mobile, anything on my system. Okay, so user can access web application from anywhere with internet connectivity. I can use HDFC application or SBI application or any other application in my laptop, in my system, or through my mobile phone as well. I can access any web application, right? It's a very important feature of the uh, web application. It's a very important features, right? Using various devices, like as I said, desktop, laptops, tabs, tablets, and smartphones, fostering widespread accessibility. I can access any application from through various sources. Okay. Second, no installation required. As I said, this is a web application, so I need not required to install any application on my system, on my mobile, just like as a Windows application, right? Unlike traditional software, user don't need to download or install anything locally, reducing the barrier to enter, the simplifying the user experience. Without installing anything, I can access any software through web, right? Third, cross-platform compatibility. Web applications are designed to work across different operating systems and web browser, right? Any Windows application we can use. For example, if I have multiple you can say there are a lot of phones is available in you can say industry, or you can say in the market, right? Android, then iPhone, you can say Mac OS, right? So web application, we can access web application through all of them, right? If my system have the different operating system, some other have the different operating system, but still we can access all that web application, all the websites in a proper way without any interruption. Okay, so cross platform compatibility. Web applications are designed to work across different operating system and web browsers, ensuring a consistent experience for users regardless of their devices or platform. And last, easier maintenance and updates. Centralized deployment means update and changes to web applications can be implemented instantly to all users. Means if whenever we create any website, whenever we create any web application, so we host that website, or we deployed that website on a particular server, a centralized server. Server is nothing but a centralized system. there there only we can install that software, there only we can deploy that software, and if required, if you want to change that software, so there itself we can change the updated version, or we can deploy the updated patch, or we can deploy the updated version over there itself, right? So it's an centralized deployment, right? Server is a single, and to access that server we have multiple clients, right? So it's an centralized deployment. Means centralized deployment means updates and changes to the web application can be implemented instantly for all users. Once we deploy the new versions of that application, it automatically reflects to the end users, right? The latest version is available for the end users. These advantages collectively contribute to the widespread adoption of the web application across various industries, offering businesses such as flexible, accessible, and cost-effective way to access it. Right? So web accessing is, you can say it's an very easy, it's a very secured, and it's very easy to deploy, easy to maintain, and easy to access as well, as comparatively Windows application, right? Windows application is different. Every time I need to first download, every time I need to install that specific software in a specific machine, right? I cannot use that Windows application centralized way, right? But here website or web application is a centralized deployment. Okay, so this is the, there are a lot of advantages. I have just mentioned few of them, right? Advantages of the web application. Okay, see in this, if you see here, this is the single server and there are a lot of clients. If you see here, this is the mobile phone, we have a laptop, we have a monitor, and we have others, you can set tablet as well, but we have the single server available here, and all the web applications, all the web pages are available in this server. Okay, so for everyone can log in through this client, through this client, through this client, through this client, and they can access any website here. Again, they are sending this request, this client also sending the same request, this client also sending the same request, and this client also sending the same request. As a response, this server send a same response to the clients, like this client, this client, this client, and this client. So this is the client server architecture. Clients may be differ, clients always be a differ, but server is a single, right? So as I said, if I'll put google.com, so Google server is a server which is available centralizedly, or it is located in a common way, right, in a particular location, but in the worldwide everyone can access the web page from that server, right? So client server, it's a client server architecture. Okay, fine. Now in demo we will see how ASP.NET application, or how ASP.NET framework looks like. So before that, what I'll do, I'll show you how we can install, right, how we can install the download and install the Visual Studio 2022, right? So in my system I already downloaded and I have already installed it, right? But what you need to do if you want to download and install the software, so in this case what we need to do, I'll just open here, for example, download and install Visual Studio 2022. So I'll just simple community edition, just simple click here, and if you see, download latest Visual Community, right? So from here you can download the Visual Studio. Again here, this is available for enterprise. This is, if I'll click here in download, so you will see we can download the this Visual Studio software for studying purpose, right? For you can say, we can call it as the community edition, right? Community edition means I can download that software at my machine and I can practice it. Enterprise means it's an real-time example, right? So I have already installed that right in my machine, so I will show you how once you install that software how it looks like. Okay, so once you install that, so you will see here two things. First, Visual Studio 2, I have installed the Visual Studio 2022 preview, right? And Visual Studio installer, right? So I have installed that site. If I'll open it, so I have it, see here, installed. So I have installed Visual Studio Professional 2022 preview. This is the version like 17.9.0 preview 2.0, which I have installed here, right? If you see modified, launch more, if I'll click on the modified, so see, once we install that studio, right, we will get multiple options. ASP.NET and web development. If I want to develop a web application, so I can check this. I need this ASP.NET and web development framework here, right? Azure development, if I want to use, if I want to go with the Azure SDK tools and project, if I want to develop that cloud based application, so I'll again need to check this as well. I need this framework as well, or I need this component as well. Python development, if I want to create, if I want to create some web applications, Windows application, or you can say if I want to create some Python based applications, right? So I'll use Python development. Similar Node.js, right? So there are a lot of uh, options available for us. C#, or you can say, if you see desktop development with C++, mobile, if I want to develop a mobile application, right? So if we have like mobile development with C++, so gaming, if I want to create any game application with C++, that also available here, right? If I want to connect my application with the SQL server, so I can choose this. Likewise, on a basis of my requirement, I can choose these, you can say these components, right? So if I'll click on this individual component, as per our requirement, we can choose the component from here as well, right? This language available in any languages, so I have checked like English, and installation location, where I need to store this Windows Visual Studio setup, or you can say Visual Studio, where I need to install that, so that location we can choose from here. By default it's an C drive, so once we install that, all that files is available on the C drive. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll simply launch this. Okay, now once I click on this launch button, you will see like this is the Visual Studio 2022. This is the Visual Studio 2022 with these four options like clone a repository, open a project or solution, open a local folder, create a new project, right? If I want to create a new project, then I need to click on this create a new project option. If I have already installed just like this projects, then I can use this open a local folder as well. If I want to open the files which is available on that folder, so I'll use open a local folder. Open a project or solution, as I said, if I have already exist some applications or solutions, so I can use open a project or solution option here. Clone repository, if I want to connect my application with any of the source control like GitHub or DevOps, Azure DevOps, or you can say TFS, then I can choose this option for the version control purpose, right? Now here what I need to do, I need to create a new project. That's what I'll simply click on the create a new project, right? So once I click on the create new projects, we will get multiple options here. If you see console app, Blazor web app, ASP.NET Core web app, there are a lot of options available in the you can say .NET Visual Studio. There are a lot of things which we can do with this Visual Studio, right? See, ASP.NET Core web application, Razor pages, right? Web API, class libraries, ASP.NET Core empty. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of components which is available here, right? WPF application, Windows Foundation, right? Again, class libraries. There are a lot of things, right? Mobile apps. Also, we can create through this Visual Studio, right? Now, what I need to do, I need to create a web application. So that's what here I'll choose this ASP.NET web application using .NET framework, right? So project template. To create ASP.NET application, you can create ASP.NET web forms, MVC or web API. So I'll just simply click on this option and simple click on this next. So I'll just give the name as web application 2, or I'll just mention demo underscore 2. This is my project name. Location is like C, right? I can change that location from here as well, but I'll just keep that location path as it is, right? Studio solution name, project name and solution name will always be same, like demo underscore 2. Framework, we can choose the framework as well, because we are dealing with the .NET. This is mandatory to work with the .NET, right? Without .NET framework we cannot create any Visual Studio application. So I'll just keep that version as it is and simply click on the create. Now here if you see an empty project template to create ASP.NET application, if I'll choose the empty, that and I'll get the empty application. MVC, model view control, if I want to go with the MVC, then I need to choose this application. If I want to work with the web API, application programming interface, then I need to choose this single page application. But here I need to create a web pages, so that's why I'll just choose this web form, right? Once I click there, so this checkbox is automatically checked here, right? And I'll simply click on the create button. Now my project, my solution, it's getting created for me. It will take some time because it's a very huge application, right? To collect all the assemblies, to collect all the libraries, to collect all the files related to that specific application, it will take some time at the first time. Okay, fine. Okay, once now this IDE, right? IDE or this solution is ready for me. Solution means this framework is ready for me. So if you see at the right hand side, solution explorer, right? And if you see, we have like it's, and you can say file, where we can create new projects, where we can open the existing projects, we can open the folder options, right? There are other things as well, right? Like we can, if I want to add something, so I have this add option. If I want to save it, so I can have this save all options as well. So same, this is the IDE, or you can say this is the Visual Studio framework or Visual Studio IDE. So we have a lot of option available here. Edit, if you want to view something, so from this view we can view that as well, right? Git, as I said, if you want to work with TFS, if you want to work with the GitHub, if you want to work with the Azure Ops, so we can go with this Git option. Projects, we have a lot of option available in the project. If you want to build the solution, build means if you want to run the application, so first we need to compile that solution. Build is for that, right? build solution, if you want to debug that, if you want to run that solution, if you want to build that solution, so we have this option. If you want to debug the solution, we have these options with us. There are a lot of things, right? So here, as I shown you, this is my solution, demo underscore 2, which I have provided the name. So demo underscore 2 references. If I'll just click in references, you will see there are a lot of classes available here, right? System, newtonsoft.json, system.data, system.create, system.configuration. So references is nothing but when we create this application, web application, this is, and if you want to attach, if you want to connect this application to SQL server, again we need to depend on any other third-party application, or we need to connect the SQL server, so that is also a third-party application. So for to connection purpose, again we need to create some classes, so that classes or that references is available here. So references is nothing but a predefined classes like system.data, system.core, and the third-party applications which we are integrating here, so that particular classes is also available here. If not, we need to add that references, right? So references. Content, if you see in this content, we have bootstrap.grid.css. This is the web application. So in web application, we need to design the web pages, right? We need to design the web pages. So here this bootstrap, or you can say this bootstrap, is combination of, just for example, HTML, CSS, or you can say JavaScript, right? To design a web pages, to rendering the pages from one pages to web page, to render the data from one page to another page, right? So inbuilt bootstrap is available here, right? Then content, okay, it's done. So then scripts, again we have multiple JavaScript file is also available, right? Again this is the default.aspx, right? When we run the file, when we run this application, default.aspx page will shown to us, right? If I'll open this default.aspx, right, so this is the web page which we see when we run the application. So if I'll run this, I will show you. Now it's debugging, right? It's at building. If you see build started, I'm building my application, right? And if you see now, my web application default.aspx active server pages extension is running on my application, on my browser. As I said, I'm building a web application, right? So if you see now, all the data which we are able to see here, like ASP.NET is a free web framework, is came from this ASPX page, active server page. We have two pages, or you can say, if I'll open this, we have default.aspx active server pages, and if I want to go with, if I'll go with the view code, we have code behind file which is available in the C#, right? Or you can say here we have this Visual Basic, right? So I'll just stop it, and okay, so this is my and if you see page title, home page, master page, site master. Now what is the site master? Site master, this is the master page, right? If I'll run this, so if you see, this is the master page, application name. If I'll click on the home, again home page is different. If I click on the about, so this is the master page, right? This is a common through all my web application. If I'll click on the contact, so this contact page is also available. So this rendering is happened only in the same master page. So that is the master page. See, this is the common master page, site.master.vb. Right here, by default, this VB, I have chosen the VB. That's what all code is available in the VB. So we have C# as well, right? C# language is also available. We can choose that C# language as well. Fine. Right. Again, we have web.configuration file. web.configuration file is used if I want to store any constant, if I want to store any variable here, if I want to connect my SQL, my application with the SQL server, then all that connection string and all that connection part I can able to store in the web.configuration file. It's very important one, right? So all the configurable data I can store here. I can define and I can store that data inside the web.configuration file. Okay, web.configuration file. And as I said, see contact.aspx, this is the file which we have earlier seen, right? Contact dot, once we click on that contact, that this is a web pages, right? aspx, right? Again I will show you. See contact, once I click on the contact, so this page is available here, right? Contact. Again if I click on the about, so we have this about, this is by default available, right? We have not created anything, right? If you see page title is equal to about, which programming language is used here? VB, Visual Basic. Master page life, this is the site.master. As I said, we have one single, or we have one common master page, and we are using that master page here. So auto event true. Code behind language is equal to about.aspx.visualbasic, right? So about.aspx.visualbasic, which is code behind here. Right, if I'll right click here and if I'll go in the visual code, so we will see here we have this public class about, so we can put if you want to write any code here, if you want to this, or now here in this Visual Basic or in this code behind language, we can create or we can write the business logic, right? All our business logic we need to write here. We need to create methods, we need to create functions here, and we need to write our business logic in the Visual Basic page or code behind page. Why this is required? Why this ASPX page is required? This is the HTML page basically. This is the HTML page. Here we can write, we can create the page basically. So just like this, this is the page, but the main logic, main business logic, main data which is rendering, which we need to write here, right, inside the Visual Basic. Fine. So now here if I'll execute this, you will see application name, home, about, contact. Now what I'll do, I'll simply go and here if I want to write something, so I'll use response dot write in double quotes. I'll simply use hello world. Now I'll just save this and I'll just debug this, or I'll just run this application. Okay, web application basically. Now if you see, I have write something on that page, so that is available here, hello world, right? So in this way we can create the web pages, web applications basically in very wide range. Yeah, this is local host because I am running this page on my local machine. Local host means I am running that application in my locally, so local host, and this is the port of my local host 4437, that we can change as well, right? So this is a high level, right? It's not, this is just as a high level of all about what is the ASP.NET, right? How we can create the web page with help of the ASP.NET and the Visual Studio 2022, right? And this is all about how we can install that. So installation, right? So as I said, what you do sorry, simple go here right, Visual Studio just simple click on the download, and once you click on the download, it will get automatically downloaded, or you can say click free Visual Studio as well. and from here you can click on the Visual Studio Community, right? So from there you can choose the community version. Okay, don't choose the version for enterprise, because enterprise version is basically used in a real projects. Okay, so community version we can create, we can download the community version for our practice purpose. Good. Okay, fine. So this is how we can so I'll just go again. So what is the ASP.NET? We will see, we already seen like what is the ASP.NET, Active Server Pages.NET. This is a framework basically which is used to create a web applications, right? Web applications, how web application works, client server based this web application is used. What other technologies we can use with help? Now this is a Visual Studio. So likewise there are a lot of other technologies, there are a lot of other programming languages which is available in the industry to create the web applications. What is the main advantages of this web applications which we have seen? Centralized system right, which is very important one. We did not require any installation there, right? And also we have seen how ASP.NET looks like, right, and how we can deal with this framework, right? So thanks for joining, and thanks for watching this video. Yo, bye.